And welcome to the WAN show, everyone. The show where we talk about stuff that's going on in tech as well as whatever tickles our fancy. And let me tell you, when it comes to tickling, things can get pretty fancy around here. We've got some great topics for you this week. Windows 9 is rumored to be getting a revamped DRM scheme that A is kind of brutal and B kind of makes a lot more sense, but more on that later. Also, Windows 7 is going to be losing support a lot sooner than I think most people would like. The, just
split support, though.
The just shy of 50% of people out there that are running Windows 7 right now might not be thrilled about this. And then what else we got?
Adblock Plus is getting sued, and not for necessarily what you'd think.
Don't you dare tell them something else. A real topic. He was going to say potato salad.
That is a real topic.
It's not funny.
It's
stupid and it exploits the system.
I want to talk about what you just said.
It doesn't exploit the system. It exploits
humanity.
I don't know what it exploits.
Humans' desire to be a part of something larger.
Is that exploitation, or is that just giving them what they need to be happy? Is giving people what they need exploitation? Why don't we just...
But you're getting something from them at the same time.
Cue the intro.
We didn't even
he
do
said
another
as
topic.
As if they had a producer.
I didn't even say potato salad. I had to do nothing for that. You introed the whole potato salad topic.
Do. My vitamin. I forgot to take it at lunch today.
Okay.
Oh look, we're just sitting in front of a blank wall because I'm trying to put my headphones in.
That's pretty cool.
Here, throw one of our sponsors up there. So the show today is brought to you by DollarShaveClub.com. Shave time and shave money. Get high quality razors delivered directly to you. Also, Lynda.com. Get knowledge delivered directly to you.
Through the internet.
At your own pace. Dollar Shave Club. They ship stuff once a month. Lynda.com. Wow, you can use it whenever. It's the way to learn. And you can look as educated and clever as her.
Yay, internet.
Maybe, hopefully a little bit cleverer. She does look educated, though.
Bye,
She's
Taryn.
got, like, glasses.
Don't chop the cable, please. Push it down with your foot.
Oh, it will be fine. He's very protective of his cables. All right, we've got a great show for you today, guys. It's kind of like we're in the driver's seat of what's going on here. We've got a great chauffeur. Chauffeur.
Oh, not good.
No one should put us in the driver's seat.
No, especially if that driver is driving to a comedy club.
To a comedy club.
Because we would do really bad on stage.
That's not even a pun.
But get it? See, that's the point of the joke.
No,
yes,
the point of a joke can never be that the joke isn't funny.
But that's the whole thing. It's that we weren't funny, so we couldn't go to the comedy club.
My jokes are funny. I just laugh about pretending that they're not. Because
I don't think your jokes are that funny. Some of them are funny.
Thank you. I'm not sure.
I think inherently puns can't actually be that funny.
Oh, puns are a very high form of humor.
This is why you're not funny.
So anyway, why don't you pick the first topic today?
I like puns.
I'm firing up the old Twitch chat here so that I can talk to my
I already
peeps.
fired the Twitch chat. The Twitch chat's on my side.
You can't fire the Twitch chat. I love the Twitch chat.
Oh.
I defended you guys. Now tell me, straw poll now. Whose side are you on?
Twitch chat. Linus is putting words in my mouth.
Oh, it's not the only thing I'm going to put in your mouth.
Wow. Speaking about putting things in people's mouths, Windows 9 revamped activation DRM. They're getting rid of CD keys, those giant 16-character alphanumerical things that you used to have to use back in the old days before Steam and stuff.
I hate those things. They're stupid.
Have you noticed how few times you actually have to use them now?
I had to enter one to install Star Citizen. I had to enter two because I had to install the game and then the expansion.
You have to do it for Star Citizen?
Supreme Commander, sorry.
Oh,
Supreme Commander. So I had to enter two, in a row.
I'm just like,
what? I
don't want to do this.
I feel like the 90s. I have these discs and these strings of
these
numbers.
And what?
What is this? Anyway, sorry, carry on. Tell them about the rumored DRM
The
scheme.
rumored DRM scheme, so we're not even sure. But basically, what's going to happen is you're going to have a Microsoft Store account. That's not the same as your Microsoft account.
So I can't continue to actually just use my Hotmail account that I've had since the dawn of time. Thanks for that. Anyway,
You have
carry
to
on.
have a Microsoft Store account. And the images are going to be served to you through the Microsoft Store. So it's going to be attached to your account, very similar to how all these like gaming platforms are doing their stuff now. Your machine's detailed, usually just your motherboard details, are going to be logged with Microsoft, and the software is still activated on your machine. But if you're freaked out right now, just like I did when I first read that, it's not actually that big of a deal, because if you go to install the OS on another machine, it'll just deactivate your old machine, relog your new motherboard details, and you're good to go. So it's not actually... They thought about that, which is surprising and cool. That's honestly basically it. One of the big things they're going to be pushing for Windows 9, which we already knew, is that they're going to be trying to make it for people that really liked Windows 7. This is going to be their big push. They're bringing back the start menu. It's supposed to be an extremely functional start menu. They're going to be talking about it in fall, with early public and semi-public pre-retail versions of the OS being released and circulated at that point in time. So especially if you're like going to school for something in the way of like something that's related to computer science at all, you'll probably be getting versions of this really early. Or if you're in the industry at all, you'll probably be getting versions of this early. And then, yeah, I don't know. Windows is like one of the most pirated things.
And I guess,
ever.
like, I get that they need to not be pirated as much, and I can understand that. They have to do something. And as far as DRM approaches go, I mean, as long as... I don't know, like, I used to really hate the subscription model. But now that I'm on it for Adobe Creative Cloud, now that I'm on it for Office... Why is this mic so quiet? Having some trouble here. Sorry, guys. Now that I'm on it for Office as well, I'm starting to kind of like it. And the thing that I don't like now is being stuck with a single license of a piece of software that's completely non-transferable. Now I find that actually a lot more
I don't see
offensive.
that happen. Oh, you mean like Steam?
I mean, like I mean the more traditional Windows approach, where particularly the OEM licenses, it's like this.
It's stuck.
You had to buy it once, and then it's just...
But this kind of solves that problem, because
Yes.
if you activate it on another machine, it just deactivates the other machine automatically,
Yes.
because it saves your, which is actually kind of interesting.
Now, with retail copies of Windows, that was always the case, but those were also very expensive. But then I like what they've done with Office, having things like 3-packs for families, for example, because my whole
Yeah,
issue...
but they've talked. Apparently, the concept can be adapted for 3 to 5 user family packages.
So
stuff like that.
that makes more sense to me. Like, the big problem for me with Windows is that it's very difficult for me to swallow the, $500 to $600 to however many $100 upgrade every however long. Like, I mean, they're releasing a new OS every couple of years now. So for me to absorb that every couple of years to keep my entire house up to date is absurd.
To be completely honest, you can probably skip every second one because they're terrible.
Well, okay. So,
So,
let's
like,
say even every 4
You
years.
can ignore 8, you can ignore 10. Just don't worry about it. It's fine.
So,
but yeah, I hear you.
so that's I guess what makes me both
I do things a little bit differently though. I usually allot an amount of money that I can spend on semi-frivolous things
right.
every like month.
You consider Windows to be a frivolous thing?
Well, because
You
I
must
already
have a really exciting life.
Oh yeah, but
like-
I already have.
I'm kicking back this weekend. I'm gonna go buy some Windows licenses.
You know what though? If I did, I would probably spend that weekend just kind of tinkering with it.
I'm a picking up a 6-pack. Windows license.
Go to my house. We can have an install party. Anyone who's been to an install party, oh yeah, probably not that many people in the audience, but those were a thing at one point in time.
NCIX did a Windows 8 launch party. Remember? We covered that thing.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, that was weird.
But no, like straight up install parties. They used to be really popular for Linux early in the day when it was really hard to figure out things. And you'd have like developers and stuff come down, and everyone would help each other install on all their machines and like create custom drivers if they're having issues and stuff like that. Install parties. They used to be a thing.
Install parties, man. All right. Anyway, what were we even talking about? So I guess what's your thought? Yay or nay? If it let's put out a hypothetical the way that it's implemented. and then I'll let you go yay or nay.
If there's no issues and this is how it's implemented,
Yes.
then
Okay.
I actually kind of like
So
it.
basically, it's your online account. I mean, I'd love for them to just do it through Steam.
Yeah.
If there's a way to do that, like
They won't, but
let's say it basically works exactly like Steam. So you log into your account, you download your ISO, and then you assign the license according to whatever, the serial number of your motherboard or whatever else. And then basically the way it works is you buy a license, and then you can upgrade your license to like a 3-pack or a 5-pack or something like that, and you can manage all of your machines within this one account.
If they do it really well, it's really streamlined, and there's no bullshit with me switching between machines because my motherboard and whatever the frick that I was scared about at the beginning, which apparently in this they've dealt with that.
Yeah.
If there's none of that, then I'm cool with it.
Okay.
Because honestly, Windows is pirated way too much, and if it is very streamlined and very easy for me, I'm okay with it.
Okay.
But it has to not be, because the biggest problem right now is I honestly know people that pirate Windows only because it's extremely hard to maintain your Windows copy if you do a lot of PC upgrades.
I mean, that's the reason that, I mean, a lot of people ask why on our test bench machines, it always says this copy is not genuine in the bottom corner. It's not because they're pirated. In fact, if they were pirated, they wouldn't say that.
Yeah.
The reason that most of the test bench machines say that is because as soon as you swap hardware, that message starts popping up.
Unless it's like my GPU test bench, because it won't freak out when you change GPUs, and that test bench has been the same for a really long time. So certain test benches won't say that, but if you see that sometimes, that's why.
And sometimes it's like they'll look for, okay, you can swap the GPU as many times as you want, but as soon as you change the RAM and a GPU, now it's going to freak out. So I don't think anyone quite knows exactly how the system works, but the point is that when it's a bench that we're swapping things in and out of all the time, they inevitably do that, and it doesn't affect any of the benchmark results anyway. So what are we going to do? Call them up every time? No, that's ridiculous.
Sometimes, but just like, yeah. No. So if it actually worked really streamlined, like if every time I changed something, it would just be like, oh, you have too many machines activated. And I could just be like, deactivate this one. And it was like, okay, perfect, done. That would be sweet.
So as much as this is somewhat good news, I still have to wonder if paid OS has a place in the modern world with Apple giving it away, Google giving it away.
Well, if it becomes extremely difficult to actually pirate Windows, that could help Linux a lot.
Yeah. All right, so we have the results from the straw poll. Oh, at least we would if my capture was working. That's going to be inconvenient today. I can't believe I didn't check this before we started streaming. That is extremely unfortunate. Get it? Extremely unfortunate. I'm just going to go check and make sure the...
I actually don't get that at all.
Because every once in a while it comes out, and then that's bad.
Why is extremely unfortunate funny?
When I don't have... Wait, what?
Why?
Stream? Because we're streaming?
Oh.
See, it's funny. It's a pun. You wouldn't understand, apparently. All right, so I wanted to show them the results of that, but... You know what? I'm going to let you do the next topic, and I'm just going to go get the Live Gamer Portable, because it actually works, unlike these Black Magic cards.
Do you want to hear about something that's probably going to suck?
Really? You think so?
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Okay, so this was originally posted on the forum by Blood with Ice and Connect for Windows. I see it. I know. Connect for Windows V2 is finally coming. Now, I remember how laughable it was back when they were showing off Connect for PC, and they were showing off some of the, medical applications, for example. Were you there at the Microsoft booth at Computex last year?
I saw some stuff about it. I wasn't there, though.
Okay, it was super cool. So the kind that you could just make a 3D model of something just by putting it on a rotating platform in front of a Kinect. But obviously the resolution's just not good enough because it's a Kinect V1 and it's stupid. So the amount of disappoint that I had when Xbox One launched and Microsoft was like, no Kinect on PC, don't worry about it. Yay. Because to me, that was the only good thing that could possibly come out of Kinect V2, was putting it on the PC and letting developers...
It should have just been a USB cable, and it should have just worked.
Yes, it should have. There is no reason why Kinect shouldn't just connect with a USB cable.
Not at all.
There's a lot of things like that, actually.
Yeah. But okay, so it's gonna be $200 most likely.
Full 1080p.
Released July 15th. The problem that I see with it is that it's not shipping with its Windows SDK 2. and they have no price for that right now. So if it's not coming with that bundled in, you're not going to see massive adoption for it, and I don't see a lot of really big games building in support for Kinect. Sorry. I don't know. It doesn't make a ton of sense, in my opinion. I can see some people doing it. The $200 isn't too bad, but something to think about is that the Leap Motion, which has way more support right now and is cheaper, also exists, and not all that many people are kind of jumping all over the Leap Motion. And the Kinect 1, when it worked on PC, didn't exactly get a huge amount of adoption. Most of the stuff you're seeing with Kinect 1 was hacker-type people making their own little applications that they didn't even necessarily share, and then that was almost it. So I don't know. I don't know if the adoption for this is going to be super huge. We see tons of stuff coming out right now, which is going to take a lot of custom work to work into people's games and stuff. And I don't see people being able to cater to all of them. There's that Toby thing that SteelSeries is working on for eye tracking. There's Oculus. There's Control VR. There's Kinect. There's Leap Motion. There's so many different things, and it's way too saturated. And as a game developer sitting down, are you actually going to pick Kinect as one of the things that you're going to really work on?
I guess for me, the thing is that I don't even really see it as necessarily a gaming play.
I think it's interesting in much more interesting in things outside of gaming.
Yeah.
To be honest, I see it much more interesting in terms of like what you're talking about, 3D scanning.
Yeah,
3D
like
printers are a huge deal.
3D scanning and 3D printing with something higher res than Kinect 1. That's like
I think that could be really cool.
Freaking cool.
I don't see this being a huge thing in terms of gaming. That's why I was
and I mean things like for even if the software development kit is somewhat expensive. If you can, with $200 hardware, if all of a sudden you can do really great motion capture, for example, that's awesome. That's really cool. Mm-hmm. So that's the kind of thing that, again, I don't expect this to make a huge difference to, the average Joe immediately, but I'm glad they're finally doing it. I wish they would have done it right away, and that's sort of what I have to say about that. So, whose side are you on? Potato salad is the big winner.
Didn't we agree with each other on this?
On what?
On this?
No, I didn't agree that they should be on your side and potato salad above me. Why would I agree on that?
But no, weren't we on the same side?
About what?
Wasn't this the Microsoft?
No, I just asked them whose side they were on in general. No, it was nothing to do with Microsoft. It was just in general. So basically,
correct.
In the popularity contest of me versus you,
correct.
Potato salad is more popular than either of us.
But I wanted to bring up the potato salad topic, so that just gets added to my score. Correct.
Yeah, that's how it works.
That is how it works.
Do you even know anything about math? All right, so AdBlock Plus.
Oh my god.
Whoa, AdBlock is being sued by some Germans or something. The point is they're being sued. The original poster on the forum was Victoria's Secret, and the original source is over at neowin.net. So we're going to go ahead and there's the original article. So we all know what AdBlock does. AdBlock lets you block those pesky ads.
Oh my god, it's in the name.
Heaven forbid a content creator actually get paid for doing the work that they do.
I was talking to people today about how 5-gallon buckets makes more money than line detectives.
Yeah.
That kind of blew their brain. 5gallonbuckets.com, more profitable than line detectives.
Anyway, the point is that that's how content creators get paid, and blocking ads is basically a scummy thing to do in the first place. So, should it surprise us that this company that exists for the that's sole product is all about avoiding having people avoid having someone else get paid? Turns out that they're just potentially, allegedly, kind of scummy. So the word on the street right now, and the reason that they're being sued, is not necessarily just because some company is butthurt that they're not getting paid because AdBlock is allowing users to circumvent their ads. No, what they're actually being accused of is having an illegal business model. So it was recently reported that Google has been paying money in order to allow its ads to pass through AdBlock Plus. So that is some dirty stuff so going on. That is super gross. People are like, yeah, AdBlock isn't illegal as far as I know. You know, it's not.
Nope.
It's not. But what is like some scary mafia bullshit tactics is protection money, man.
Letting Google pay through.
And that is basically what we're talking about. We're talking AdBlock turning their business model, if this is true, into basically a way of double dipping, charging ad creators double in order to get people to actually see the ads. I mean, wow.
It's kind of awesome, but awesome in a terrible way. Like, horrible. And I can't wait till this becomes, if the German guys don't win, if this becomes a much bigger thing, you can just go to AdBlock's site and be like, yeah, I want you to unblock this whole website. Like, if we could, like, pay to get Linus Tech Tips unblocked, that would be hilarious. Because that would become really widespread, and then AdBlock would be useless,
That's the problem,
and then people
though,
would just stop using it anyways.
You know what? A lot of the time it's the internet liberation, whatever, blah blah blah. The internet should be free.
Everything
guys
should be free.
That are trumpeting the merits of AdBlock, and then you look at what AdBlock's doing, and this is no less dirty than trying to circumvent something like net neutrality. It is equally dirty. Creating tiered delivery systems on the internet is wrong. Period. So, guys...
Because then you're going to have to be able to afford to make money on the internet.
You're going to have to be able to afford to pay the content creator to advertise, and you're going to have to afford to pay the AdBlock mafia to allow your ad through.
Someone just said in the Twitch chat, AdBlock is great. I'd never internet again without it.
And
I seriously doubt
I doubt it. And as an AdBlock user, you should hold them accountable for this in some way. So if you guys are going to go and be crusaders about whatever it is you be crusaders about, this is one of them.
You got to also attack AdBlock for what they're doing.
I'm not even saying right now, do I personally want people to use AdBlock? No. I'm a content creator. My survival is ads. So I like people to watch ads. It's good. I appreciate when they watch and listen to our sponsors and all that. But am I telling you guys right now, go and uninstall your AdBlock because they're bad people? No, I'm saying do something, because this
voice your opinion, like
is a bad people thing to do. At least let them know that that's not okay.
And you're not gonna, like, if you attack AdBlock for this, they're not gonna shut down.
And it's one thing if AdBlock is completely blocking ads, and it's another thing if they're not. These are both legal, but the accusation right now is that allowing the ones that they get paid to allow is not legal, because that's not what the end user signed up for. That's certainly not what the ad server or the content creator had in mind. They're basically just playing around with it in their own little sandbox over there. Speaking of sandboxes, potato salad. Kickstarter.
We're flying through topics today.
Really is just the ultimate playground right now, isn't it?
One thing I gotta drop first is that we're at about $47,000 now. We were at $70,000 before, so a lot of people have pulled back.
I shouldn't say we, because it wasn't us. This was not our idea.
Neither of us. Nope.
So everyone's pretty much heard about it at this point. It's some guy posted on Kickstarter. He's making potato salad. The perks are just stuff like getting better mayonnaise from the natural food section, calling a chef to get a better recipe, just stuff like that. And I don't even know what else I had to say about it. It's
super stupid. There's a whole bunch of different stretch goals too, like he was just talking about, like at $3,000, which he's massively passed, and he's not putting any more stretch goals.
Who's being exploited here? Because I feel like someone must be. I don't know. I mean, if people voluntarily give their money because they think it's funny, I mean...
My favorite thing too is like the hat and the t-shirt, which they're like, yeah, you get a hat or a t-shirt, but there's no graphics of, so you have no idea what it's going to be.
Yeah,
you
it just says potato salad themed hat.
Helvetica letters that say potato salad.
Yeah, and I mean, you know what? If I was a backer of this, that would probably be what I would want. It would be whatever goofy thing that the internet thinks is funny, and that would be it. I mean,
so potato salad with like a cat wrapped around in the bowl and rainbows.
You know, I don't know.
And an EA logo on the back.
I want to make a comparison to gambling here. Because gambling, but when you talk to gamblers, like there's the addicts, and then there's the people who gamble for fun. And they'll tell you, look, it's not about winning. It's about, I paid $200 and I had $200 worth of entertainment. And so if they win, then great. And if they lose, then they paid for entertainment, and that's what it is. So is it wrong and is it stupid if people are genuinely $10 worth of entertainmented by giving $10 to this, and did they get their money's worth then?
Some of the stuff I really like is, and like I'm gonna tie into what you just said in a moment. But some of the stuff I really just like is the $3 tier, where you get a bite of potato salad. He sold that to 1,000 people. He's got to make a lot of potato salad.
Yeah, 1,000 bites of potato salad.
But I guess that does kind of tie in. So if you donated $3, is it worth it so that one day you'll get potato salad in the mail, and you can Instagram it or tweet it to your friends or post it on Facebook or whatever and be like, LOL, look, I just got potato salad in the mail because this Kickstarter thing that I backed. Is that worth the $3? Maybe.
I mean, it's
Not
funny
to me,
because
but...
we have such different standards for different entertainment media in terms of how much we're willing to pay. Like, for some reason, we're okay paying, you know, by the time you take a lady friend with you, buy a popcorn, buy a drink,
like
you know,
$60.
it's 20, well, I was going to say like 25, $30. I don't know what kind of popcorn you're buying, but...
Dude, 2 popcorns and 2 drinks is like $25.
What, you bought her popcorn? And you didn't bring your own drink?
I thought you were going to say,
and you
stupid? I thought you were going to say, and you didn't bring me.
Yeah, really.
You bought her popcorn? You didn't buy popcorn for me?
Maybe that was where I was going with it next.
Actually, I always make sure that we eat before we go because I'm never buying that stupid crap. It's way too expensive.
Okay, well, let's say you only buy tickets. Let's say you're a complete cheapskate like the two men in this room. And you still paid like $25 to go and be entertained for an hour and a half. And then you get people upset over a playtime of 6 hours for a AAA game that they paid $60 for. It's like, well, hold on a second. And I'm not saying
Even some people are upset when it's like 10, 15 hours.
And I'm not saying you're wrong. I was pretty upset about episode 5 of Wolf Among Us. I was like, yeah, that was an hour of playtime, and like a third of it, spoiler alert, and like a third of it is stupid fight scenes that aren't even as good as the ones in the previous games and this like weird chase. And then the rest of it is the most predictable dialogue crap ever. I was so disappointed. Like episodes 1 and 2, awesome. And then it's like they got the Game of Thrones franchise and they're like, okay, we need to like pinch out this Wolf Among Us thing as fast as we can so that we can make all the money making Game of Thrones games, which is probably, I'm not accusing anyone of anything, but there you go. Anyway, so
another thing I want to bring up is...
What are we even talking about anymore?
Potato salad. But another thing I want to bring up is that the amount of tiers where he has to say thank you during making the potato salad, he has to say thank you to like 4,000 something people. Like, the first tier, you get it for $1, so 1,745 people back that. The second tier, you get it, 1,058 people back that. The third tier, you get it, 1,020 people back that. I think it's probably going to go through the whole thing.
Do you think he's bitten off more than he can chew?
Do you bite off a piece of potato salad? You'd have to make, like, a potato salad bar.
You could... You know what's funny? Fancy restaurants, man. I swear. The less prepared the food is, the more expensive it is.
The less prepared and the more stacked. Think about it. The less fancy the restaurant is, the more flat your plate is. When you go to a fancy restaurant, they just put everything in a pile.
Here. Like, these are basically just the stupidest thing ever.
It's
I went to a restaurant once, and, like, it was someone else's treat. I never eat at places like this. And I was just like, how do I eat this? This is called a wedge salad. I was like, what the hell is this?
That's so stupid.
Basically, they just quarter a thing of iceberg lettuce. It's not even expensive lettuce. Iceberg lettuce. Like, they're like, what, 60 cents a head? And then they put, like, bacon and stuff on it. And it's like, yeah, we prepared this. And the guy's like, oh, yeah, you use a fork and a knife. I'm like, what? So and it was like $25 for the salad or something like that. And I'm like, so what? I pay more and they prepare it less. So, in my mind, if he made the fanciest potato salad ever, it would actually be whole potatoes.
A potato that you, like, mashed an egg into?
It's drizzled over the top.
It's like How To Basic Potato Salad Edition. Just, like, put a whole bunch of throw a whole bunch of potatoes into a bowl, and then take a whole thing of eggs and just throw it into the bowl, and then be like, there! Here's your freaking potato salad. Green onions are extra.
How To Basic the restaurant would be a scary place to eat.
But there's so many people that would go to it.
I know, right?
I'd almost want to go.
Did I tell you about my restaurant concept that I had a little while ago?
No.
Okay, I had an idea that I actually think is amazing. So, themed fun restaurants are a bit of a thing.
Sorry, I'm
at
going to
least
interject
here.
real quick. He quite literally has to say thank you to all 5,808 people. Every
Excellent.
single tier has that included. Keep
And
going.
given how many people have names that are impossible to pronounce, that's going to be a challenge.
It is.
Anyway, there's one called, what is it called? Dark Table?
Yes.
Dark Table, where the entire restaurant is completely blacked out.
The unfortunate thing about Dark Table in Vancouver is that the entry door doesn't have like a spacing at the beginning, like
Oh,
a
so when people open up the
spaceship
door-
would.
Ah,
So
okay.
when you open up the door, you get light,
Right.
and the bathroom is the same way. And dark tables in other cities, there's usually some type of like dark room in between the
Sure.
dining area and a dark room in between the bathroom.
Okay, so anyway, so Dark Table, it's completely blacked out inside, and it's supposed to be kind of like having the experience of being blind.
All the waiters and waitresses are blind. The cooks are not.
Okay, so like Dark Table's kind of cool, and I was like, okay, so if people are into this whole like interesting dining experience thing, I was thinking of there should be a restaurant where all the food is incredibly awkward and difficult to eat. So I thought
That would actually be hilarious.
it would be the ultimate icebreaker
Yeah.
first date
Yeah.
or like double date place to go. So you could have dishes like single noodle spaghetti, where the entire thing is one noodle and you don't give them a spoon or a knife. So basically, you just have to like
Do the chop it off with your teeth thing?
yeah. So the idea is just that if everyone looks like an idiot, then no one has to worry about, oh, I spilled a little bit or I have something dripping down my elbows. Like you could have sandwiches with just like basically, disgusting amounts of sauce intentionally on one side of it. Like eat from this
so
side.
that it will go out.
And then
yeah.
so it'll just drip down your elbows. Just stuff like that, where you want things to still be delicious, but they would be intentionally socially awkward to eat. And like the rules would be, whatever utensils we bring you, that's all you can use to eat it.
They only give you no utensils at all, so they don't give you any, and it's sushi that's way too big to fit in your mouth.
Yeah, like stuff like that, right?
Yeah. So you'd have to like destroy it or mash it in your mouth.
Yes. See, that kind of thing. I think that would be a lot of fun.
That would actually probably be a lot
Someone
of fun.
someone needs to have that restaurant.
Maybe this potato salad guy should start that restaurant
Yeah,
with his
right.
like $47,000.
That's not even. Yeah, I guess that's a lot of money. Not enough to start a restaurant. That's what I meant. I meant that in the context of not enough to start a restaurant. Not like I am so loaded that $40,000 is not a lot of money to
It
me.
is going to be interesting though, because with that $47,000, he has to make a recipe book for potato salad. He has to ship
Yeah,
out
I saw that.
thousands and thousands of bites of potato salad, like a lot of them. He has to
all the t-shirts,
make
all
that
the hats.
video, all the t-shirts, all the hats. I think there might even be more stuff. There's a lot of shipping that's going to be in here. He's shipping out thousands and thousands of things, so he's probably not going to be able to do it by himself. He's probably going to have to get people to help him. Like, he's going to come out with a ton of money,
Maybe not even that much.
but it's not going to be $47,000. I could easily see him spending at least 20 grand doing all this stuff.
I don't know. I just don't see the appeal.
See, I think it's funny, but I don't think it's technically funny. I don't know.
There's no such thing as technically funny. Humor is not technical.
But you can have a terrible sense of humor.
Okay, so speaking of not a lot of money, Samsung's factory was robbed at
Not a lot of
gunpoint.
money?
36 million in smartphones, tablets, and laptops stolen. So it was a group of about 20 armed men. This happened earlier this week. The speculation right now is that there was probably someone on the inside involved in pulling off this heist. But basically, they had some of the employees subdued at gunpoint. They had others just kind of going about their days working, not even aware of what was going
My favorite
on.
part. While some employees were held hostage during the site, the report claims that the majority of others just continued working.
It's just like, what?
You're like, I can't run away because they'll shoot me. And if I stop working, who knows? My job could be in jeopardy. So I just might as well keep on working.
So, yeah, I mean, I the funny, like, I don't mean for this to come across the wrong way, but I just don't get it. What would you even do with that many smartphones? How would you even unload that many smartphones without getting caught?
If you know people that own stores or whatever.
Right, but I mean, we're talking smartphones. We're talking things with digital serial numbers that are going to be reported to a carrier at some point. Like these are things that are pretty difficult
Pretty
to
trackable.
to cover up. They're very trackable. I mean, it's one of those things where I don't know. You guys ever watch Numbers? You know, you go and you on a map. You kind of go, okay, well here's where they're being activated. They're probably coming from somewhere in here. Like this is legitimately a way that you could track something like this.
Yeah.
So unless they have an extremely diverse distribution network, all full of people who aren't going to breathe a word, how do you not get caught doing something like this?
Move, I guess. Like you might be able to find the store, but then maybe the store doesn't know. Maybe you go to a distributor.
But the issue is that someone knows.
Someone knows.
And I don't know what the laws are like in Brazil, but here, selling stolen goods, even if, I didn't know, is still illegal and still a big deal.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. I have no idea what the laws are like in Brazil, but I can't imagine this would be the hardest thing to track. Especially if they stole that much money worth of stuff. They must have been in there for so long.
oh yeah, they were loading trucks and trucks and trucks.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
the amount of chance that you left some type of DNA evidence behind, the amount of chance that some camera got you at some point in time.
Well, the good news is they didn't kill or hurt anyone. Because if they had, then it becomes... I mean, it's still whatever
much
is
bigger
bigger
deal.
than grand theft, but all of a sudden it becomes murder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. People are saying there's a lot of gold in smartphones. I really think that there are better ways to get that much gold with 20 armed people than breaking into a smartphone factory
That
and
is
taking them apart.
probably not what they're going for.
I mean, I give you guys props. Like, thank you for the good idea, but I really don't think that's it.
Yeah.
Like, if I was gonna coordinate a heist like this, and I wanted gold, I would probably rob a jewelry distribution hub, not an electronics one.
And those exist.
Just throwing that out there.
Probably hard to find. Probably harder to find than like Samsung's distribution hub. But if you are bringing along 20 people armed with truck drivers and everything, I don't know. You could probably find it.
You probably figure it out.
Yeah.
All right, so speaking of smartphones, the original poster for this on the forum was Adam Isaac Lang. And the original article is from VentureBeat, and it's all about Avast recovering data off of cell phones that they bought on eBay. This is something that I guess we should have seen coming. But I had expected to be a little bit more difficult and a little bit less effective than it turns out that it was. Because the thing about flash-based storage is that, unlike magnetic-based storage, it's actually reshuffling itself in the background quite a bit. So magnetic-based storage, the way that file recovery works, is when you delete something, it only deletes the references to where the files are. It doesn't actually delete the entire file, because that's very time-consuming and magnetic storage is slow. With an SSD, particularly a trim-enabled one, it actually does a bit more of a thorough job. It's going to have to delete the references, the pointers, to where the files are, but then between sort of cleaning up the drive in order to optimize it for better performance, and both in terms of trim and in terms of idle garbage collection, a lot of data should in theory be lost and scrambled around, because unlike a hard drive where you're going to write a file as continuously as possible, with an SSD, things get scattered around all over the place. So even though you might only actually delete, let's say, 5% of a file as you are reshuffling things around, there's still a good chance that you would corrupt, especially certain file types that aren't as resilient to partial losses of their data. So I didn't expect this to work as well as it did, but according to the report from Avast,
they were able to get 40,000 photos, 750 emails, 250 names and addresses, and one loan application. Why do you have your loan application on your phone? Don't do that.
But in general, I mean, part of the whole thing there is they're like, okay, look, you should probably use our software and do a proper secure wipe where you're actually overwriting things. So it's a bit of a publicity stunt more than anything else. But the fact that what was it? I forget what the numbers were. It's not in our notes, but only a very small fraction of the phones had any security software
Oh, yeah.
previously installed on them whatsoever. So Avast's point, and their app is free, so it's not like they're actually trying to sell you something for $5 or whatever. Avast's point is, yo guys, please be aware of this. Your phone is like the least secure thing ever. Apparently it was to boost sales of its SecureWipe antivirus program for $30 a year. Okay, when I was reading the article earlier, I think they have one security app that is free.
Okay.
So there you go. Anyway, there are free apps, though, that can do a proper secure erase of your phone, so just something to be aware of, even if you don't want to give Avast your money for it.
Okay. Little bit confused there, my bad. The security prices packages range with the most costing about $30, while Avast is free.
Thank you. Avast is free. I knew it. All right.
Oops.
So here was kind of a scandal this week. This was interesting. So the FTC is suing T-Mobile or fining them or whatever it is they're doing to them. Basically, they want money from them for knowingly adding bogus charges to the bills of their customers. This was originally posted on the forum by Ryu-kun, and there have actually been quite a few updates to this.
His post was really good, by the way.
As it's gone along here.
Just wanted to
So
put that out there.
pretty much T-Mobile fired back almost immediately saying, hey, well, look, we don't engage in this. It was an industry problem. We don't understand why we're being gone after because we're about the most consumer-friendly mobile carrier ever. Their CEO called the claims unfounded and without merit, and we believe that customers should pay only for what they want and what they sign up for. And so the FTC says that the services that they were charging for in question had refund request rates of up to 40% in a single month. And T-Mobile is allegedly collecting as much as 40% of the revenue generated from these services. So I'll be interested to see how this plays out.
Services being like flirting tips and horoscope and celebrity crap and stupid things like that, which no one should ever do.
Yeah, so basically these are premium SMS services that they're commonly charging for. So
I didn't even know those still existed.
I didn't know that either. In fact, I don't even know why I still get SMS messages from my carrier with the new legislation in Canada that forbids spam. Even mailing lists that I'm signed up for have told me they can't continue to email me unless I specifically authorize them to do it. Is SMS not covered by this? I actually haven't looked into it that deeply.
That's more annoying than email.
Because I got an upgrade to the Galaxy S4 Mini for only this much text the other day, and it carries something like a $10 million fine, or $1 million or $10 million or something.
Stupid, annoying TELUS text messages.
Yeah, well, the issue is that I'm close to the end of my contract. So
my contract is ended, so they just spam me constantly.
It's like, wow, I'm at a time in my cycle here when I can leave you at any time. Seems like a good opportunity to piss me off, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's what goes through carriers' heads. But you know what the scary thing is if it didn't work, they wouldn't do it.
Yep, I'm sure it works, because you're not even. I know a lot of people that don't even realize their contract actually ends. They're like, oh, I can get this phone for this much, sure. And they go in and get that phone, and they're contracted again.
Well, there you go.
If you don't even really think about when your period ends, if you don't really think about all those different things. That did not come out right. I meant your contract period. Oh, no. Okay. Anyways. I guess that's a thing. I still haven't picked who I'm going to go with. In terms of carriers. Can we move on now?
Nanopixels. So this was originally posted on the forum by DLF, and the original article is on Extreme Tech. So we're talking resolutions 150 times higher. Nanopixels. So, blah, 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 etc., etc. Researchers in England created nanopixels that measure just 300 by 300 nanometers. So comparing this to a modern smartphone with a 400 pixel per inch display, we're talking, yes, 150 times more. Now, obviously, we could create extremely high resolution displays with this technology, but there are some other complications. So, for example, we'd have to figure out, what kind of a display interface is going to be able to handle, 1,000 or 198,000 by 1,200 or by 120,000
Is that the
pixels.
resolution that it does, or can you do much lower? It can just do up to that, because I'm pretty sure it can just do up to that.
Yeah, no, it would be up to that depending
So you
on.
don't
Like,
have to push it that hard.
no, I think they're taking like probably a 5-inch phone screen size and going, well, if we can do 1920 by 1200, then we could do this.
With this potential
And that's
density,
yeah.
we can do this. Yeah, because I don't actually see anyone really actually pushing that resolution, because it's ridiculous.
So we'd have to figure out how to even drive resolutions like that. We'd have to catch up in terms of processing power. We'd have to catch up in terms of display interfaces. I mean, maybe light-based interfaces could take us, the next step forward. But I guess my whole thing here is, for most stuff, it's probably a moot point.
Yep.
For TVs, irrelevant. For computers, irrelevant. And even for smartphones, I would say irrelevant. I have a really hard time telling the difference between the 2560 by 1440 display on the G3 versus the 1080p display on the 1M8. It's just not that different.
One thing I was thinking about is sometimes it becomes actually more expensive to manufacture older technology. So if just everything starts moving towards this, maybe it becomes cheaper, and they're not even aiming for that resolution. They just aim for a way lower resolution, but just use this technology. So maybe it comes to TVs. They don't need it, but maybe it just...
I mean, if the tech gets used for other things, like if it gets used for better passive 3D, if it gets used for things like adding pixels with more colors, so that we can, like, you look at... who is it who does the fourth yellow pixel in their TVs? Is it Sharp?
I think so.
I think it's Sharp. Anyway, you look at stuff like that and what that kind of tech can do to push things forward. I can see it being used there, but in larger form factor devices, I don't think it's that relevant. The place that I really see this being used, though, is head-mounted displays, wearables, and then things like microprojectors. So we've seen some interesting stuff done with holograms. So what's that? What is it, like Miku? Or what's that Japanese pop star character with the green hair?
Yeah. I don't know the name, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I do. I feel like we should probably.
They've also done
name.
hologram for Tupac, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Miku virtual singer. Here we go. Hatsune Miku. There we go. The world's virtual diva. Anyway, the point is they've done concerts with her as a hologram, much like they did that thing with Tupac. And I would see very, very tiny displays like this as an interesting way to push that technology forward. So if you wanted something like a wrist-mounted holographic projector thing, we'd be talking extremely small. We'd be talking extremely small optics, and we'd be looking for ways to miniaturize things as much as we possibly could. So that's where I'm really excited to see this technology going. But I see a lot of the comments on this article that are like, "Oh, we could have a 4K smartwatch." I'm just like, yeah, we don't need that.
Who gives a crap?
At all. I mean, if they can make them transparent, and we could have really neat stackable displays.
Yes.
So that we had like a transparent watch that had display elements at every level and could, like, just I don't know. There's
or have like the thing I was talking about with the real watch.
Yes.
With the digital watch screen on top, which can fade, so you can see the real watch under it. So I know a lot of people that are just like, I want a mechanical watch because I like mechanical watches. And I'm like, yeah, well, there's other things that could be helpful. So maybe if the screen illuminates when you get a notification, and then when there's no notifications, it fades away and you have your nice mechanical watch, that could be pretty cool.
I got my wife going on the Pebble.
Did you?
Yeah.
How'd she like it?
She really likes it, and she's so a couple things. Number one is at her work they can't carry their phones with them. She's in a pharmacy. It's unprofessional. So, what?
It's kind of cheating.
What?
Having your Pebble if you can't carry your phone with you at work.
It's just a watch, man. So the point is, she can leave her phone in her bag, and she's not breaking any rules. But if something urgent comes through,
Then
like
she'll know
I'm
about
like, where's the child? I need to go retrieve him, and I don't know where to go because these kinds of things happen. I don't have to call. I don't have to call and interrupt the entire pharmacy. I can just text and then She can go slip off
When
discreetly
she
or
has
whatever
a
else.
moment or
Right?
whatever.
And then the other time it's going to be really useful is she's going on maternity leave. Actually, starting today, she's on short-term disability because of she's got like these shooting pains and she can't stand all day. So she's on short-term disability until her maternity leave starts. And a lot of the time when you're taking care of a baby, so once she's on her mat leave, you're just kind of all over the place.
Dealing with the baby, you're not necessarily keeping track of your phone.
So she has a watch on her.
You strap something to yourself. It's way to...
Then it's easier for me to get in touch with her because I had a really hard time getting in touch with her last time she was on maternity leave. For those of you who don't know, my baby's due in about 3 weeks, so that's what's up as far as all that is concerned.
Someone said I'm going to break this laptop. I have no idea what they're talking about. And another person said that once the 4K watch shows up, you're going to be super excited, and I think you're wrong.
You're totally wrong. How many cares did I give about the G3 and its high-resolution screen? Go ahead, watch the review. That's how many cares I will give about the 4K watch. Boom.
I've had a few more people watch my 792 thing.
Oh yeah?
Everyone likes it so far.
Speaking of which, you know what? Let's go hate on Microsoft for a little
Sure.
bit here. So let's start with Microsoft pulling Windows 7 support in 6 months. This was originally posted by Dietrich W on the forum, and the article here is from Business Insider.
It's
And-
not... It's...
Yeah, well, okay.
It's not really pulling support.
I still
not
call
fair.
I still call bullshit on this because we're not going to get DirectX 12,
No.
which is bullshit.
Yes.
So
I'm not disagreeing with you on that point at all.
okay.
It's just not...
So we're on the same page.
Yes, you can't properly say that they're pulling support, because they're not.
Not supporting DirectX 12 is bullshit. Especially if they're out of one side of their mouth, they're going to say, yeah, we care about the PC
We care
as a
about
gaming
PC gamers
platform.
and all that, yeah.
We do this, except we're going to... okay. It's been shown time and time again. The way to support gaming is to have a large platform of installed users for a game developer to target. That is how you support gaming. You do not support gaming by forcing people to buy a new OS on hardware that would otherwise be fully capable of it in order to take advantage of a new feature. That is how you get absolutely no one to give a shit about your new feature. That's what you achieve by doing that. So that's why I'm mad about this from a gaming perspective. But anyway, they are continuing to provide security updates until
2020.
January 14, 2020 or something like that. So yay for business. Also, business customers who pay for extended support can continue to get general updates, which to me is like, I get it. I understand why the business model works that way, but I'm still upset that you're developing all this stuff and then you're just
not giving it to us.
not giving it to
I wouldn't
us.
be surprised at all if someone creates some sort of module where you can get those updates.
I don't know. Anyway,
Not that that would even be legal or right or anything. I'm just saying it might exist. I think timing for different things is fairly interesting because we just read something about Windows 9, which is where they said first half of 2015, probably not as soon as January 13th.
yeah.
So they're going to drop performance support for it and let you squirm for a little while and then release Windows 9. I bet you that's what's going to happen because they're trying to be like, yeah, we're trying to capture Windows 7 users. So they're trying to chop you off and then give you an alternative that you actually like instead of Windows 8, which is trash. So there's that.
Well, let's not be fair. Let's not call it trash. Let's call it
Refined garbage.
not. Well, that's not better.
Compact waste.
It's not waste. I mean, there are good things about it. You know, there are good things
File
about
transfer.
it. And the task
Manager.
The task manager is much
Nothing
better.
else.
There must be something else.
It's good at performing. It performs well.
I hate that Arrow's gone.
Yeah.
I hate that flat.
I think it's ugly.
I think it's really
Windows
ugly.
7 is beautiful.
Yeah, it really is.
Even the start button is like, dude, why is the whole thing white?
Yeah.
Because it's not really a start button. That's why the whole thing's white.
Yeah. Okay. So I'd like to say that we're gonna go easy on Microsoft for a little bit here. It's funny. I got called like the ultimate Microsoft fanboy by someone on like my Surface 3 review, and I was like, really?
Your Surface 3?
Yeah, I know, right?
What?
It's like people can decide that I've sold out no matter what I say.
Didn't you rip it apart?
I could be like, you know what's garbage? Minecraft, and people would be like, yeah, Mojang sell out.
Why do you like Minecraft so much?
Yeah, I bet Notch gave him $5,000 to say that. Anyway, So this is a big problem. This is just unbelievable. Original article here on Forbes. We're getting more and more of our gaming news from Forbes. We were even talking about this a little while ago, where I was like, "What is Forbes doing video card reviews?"
I know.
And now it's like, okay, this is a good article.
In this article, he goes like, "Yeah, I think games are fine at 30 FPS," and I'm just like, "Yeah, why does Forbes even have news?"
Well, I thought other than that, the article's
Right here. Personally, I can tell the difference between 1080p and 720p, as well as 30 FPS and 60 FPS, but I don't really care. In the past, I've raised the ire of the internet by suggesting that 30 FPS was better for some games, an opinion that I stand by. Well, I don't care about you.
Yeah, so anyway, the point is, blah, 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 resolution gate or whatever. Everyone wants to call everything something gate. It's very goofy.
Merc.
So, anyway, Xbox marketing chief Harvey Eagle, and that should be your first clue. Marketing chief. If you had to market the Xbox, what would you do other than downplay resolution and graphical horsepower? Marketing chief didn't deny the spec differences, but argued that it is really hard to tell the difference. If you put third-party games side by side that are running at slightly different resolutions or frame rates, now, to be clear, 1080p and 792p, or even 900p and 792p are not slightly different frame rates. Also, there are resolutions rather. Also, there are other issues here. The fact that you're not running at a native resolution means that the image is not as crisp. It means that you have to interpolate, which is bad. It's terrible. Anyway, if you put the blah 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 side by side, unless you're using a screen that's more than 60 inches big, I defy you to really see the difference. I personally struggle to see the difference.
I had a debate about this with someone, and one of the points that I brought up was that we seem to be going backwards. And people are talking about how on PS2 they're playing games at 60 FPS. I'm like, yeah, that should be a standard now. We should not have to be having this debate at this point.
It's funny because Android games are like, yeah, G3. Let's run it at 1440p. No wonder. You know what? You know how Nvidia has talked so much about how their Tegra chips and mobile gaming and the console experience and all of that with the mobile chips, and they're making such a big deal out of that. I mean, you gotta imagine how aware a company like that is of the kind of crap that was going on with Watch Dogs, and how frustrated they are by the fact that they rely on these partners to create great PC games. No wonder they want to just throw development resources at mobile.
At the Android guys that are like you just said, yeah, 1440p.
Where they're actually trying to push the envelope, and where the technology is actually improving.
I hate Android games, though. They just all suck. Like, I was looking through, okay, I haven't looked at, like, any of the actual ones on the store, so that might help me a little bit.
Right.
But I was looking through my Humble Bundle Android games, which I have a ton of, the other day, because I was just bored and waiting somewhere. I was like, wow, I don't want to play any of these.
I know.
Like, at all.
We need more developers to figure out a way to make Android games much more profitable. I mean, Square's done it. What do they charge? $14.99 for their Final Fantasy remakes on Android? Like we've seen $15, $20 Android games before, but it's not until that becomes more commonplace and sales of games like that become more mainstream that we're going to see developers really invest properly in the stuff that matters, like storyline. Like, I had a lot of fun playing Reaper. Did you ever try it?
No.
It's great on Shield with a controller. It's a total blast. It's kind of like a side-scrolling, level-based fighting game. But there's no depth to it at all. It's the kind of thing that you play in bed while you're drifting off to sleep, and then, like, the last fight, you die because you actually fell asleep. Like, it's that kind of game. And until they cost more, it's just the rules. Until you pay for something, no one's going to make it, and the other way around.
And one thing I find to be a problem, too, is there's a lot of people developing things that actually look like genuinely interesting games. And then you start playing it, and you're like, this shouldn't be on a phone.
Don't you have a Shield right now?
I do.
Yeah, okay.
But, like, I'm talking more if I'm, like, waiting at a bus stop or something.
Right. You know, it's funny. I have almost no games installed on my phone anymore. I used to have, like, at least 10 games installed on my phone at any given time. But you play enough Fruit Ninja, and you get to the point where it's just not entertaining anymore.
Yeah.
For me, anyway.
One of my problems right now is that I am using a Moto X. When I had my G2, I had a lot more games installed. The
Right.
screen's a lot bigger. So
Right.
it felt like it's so... Look at my thumbs.
Yeah, I played
If you can't-
Jetpack Joyride a lot more on back when I was using the iPad 2.
Jetpack Joyride was pretty alright.
But the problem for me is that for whatever reason my account didn't sync all my items and stuff. So I had like the gold cuddles and the gold like everything, and I had like every jetpack. So for me, whenever they were releasing updates, because I refused to pay for stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I had actually earned through coins every
Yeah.
single item in the game.
That's what I was working on too. I didn't pay for anything.
And then as they were rolling out new stuff, I would always have kind of new stuff to buy. So it was my can game, right?
Yeah.
And then my account didn't sync. I upgraded to iOS 7 and all my stuff was gone. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to do that again.
I switched phones.
I'm
Never
not
played
going
again.
to... If you take away my coin magnet, you might as well cut off my balls. So. Okay, GTX Titan 2.
This was posted like at like 4:10 or something, an hour ago. Someone linked this to us, and I was just like, "Oh God, get it in the dock."
Here is the rumor. An NVIDIA product going by the description of GM200A1 graphics processor has been spotted. This is kind of a new thing, hey?
What?
Couriers
Yeah.
seeing the documents, because they have to say what's in a package in order to ship it somewhere. So the couriers that sit between NVIDIA's production facility for their engineering samples and their testing facility are apparently picking up on graphics card shipments. So it's going to be called it's called GM200A1 graphics processor. The A1 stepping signifies the pre-production status of the chip, and it will be upgraded to an A2 stepping before being pushed into mass production for the consumer market. It is rumored to feature over 4,000 CUDA cores and a widened memory bus of 512 bits. I find that very hard to believe. NVIDIA has avoided at every turn going to 512-bit as often as they can, every time they can. They've gone as wide as 384 and seem to be okay with it, but it is much more expensive to put a wider memory bus on a chip. You have to do more contact points, you have to do more internal routing. The design is much more difficult, and if they don't have to do it, then they don't have to. And with DDR4 coming so soon, and a derivative of GDDR based on DDR4 presumably in the works, I don't know that they would need to widen the bus that much more. I mean, it's not like we're limited on the current generation Kepler products by the memory bus that much. Memory overclocking doesn't do a whole lot for performance. So we'll see. Anyway, so it's rumored to have a 512-bit bus. Given the size of the 28-nanometer process, this new GPU will be very, very large. That's another thing, is NVIDIA doesn't give up margin easily. So telling NVIDIA, hey, there's no competition that has a faster card than you, but you should price this card at $999 just like the old Titan, and you should make the chip bigger. Like, they're gonna be like, okay, why? Maybe we'll just do a black edition instead, like they did, where it's the same chip and they can still sell it for the same price. So I don't know. I'll be interested to see how that shakes down.
Ghost and I were kind of screwing around with the dock a little bit. I deleted a lot of it, but apparently not all of it. We had 4 or 5 of that article, and we just titled it like GTX Titan 3, GTX Titan 4, GTX Titan 5. We just changed every single article to like GK 310, GK 410, GK 510, 999, 999, 999, 999.
So it's expected to launch in the first half of 2015, which is probably a pretty safe bet. So we'll see how that goes. I haven't heard anything about it. What I can say is that, and I really, okay, to be clear, I do not think it's related to Titan 2. I mean, the fact that they're shipping A1 silicon allegedly between testing facilities means it's nowhere even close to hitting the market. But I actually have a meeting with NVIDIA on Monday. I'll be flying down to San Fran, so it'll be interesting to find out what that's about.
There's been a lot of rumor mill stuff going around about NVIDIA lately.
They're being really cagey about this. So not only am I like, they wouldn't even tell me what the meeting's about at all. They're just like, get on a plane. And I'm like, okay, you have a meeting. And I'm like, okay, may I know what it's about? My wife has an ultrasound that day, and I'd rather not miss it. And they're like, I'm like, can you brief me over the phone? They're like, no. I'm like, okay, can we do a different day? Yes.
Oh.
So it was going to be on the Tuesday, and I moved it to the Monday.
Oh.
So I can go to the ultrasound on Tuesday.
That works.
But anyway, they won't tell me what it's about at all, and everything they tell me is embargoed until a date that presumably is also embargoed. So don't expect to hear anything about this from me other
At
than
all.
that I have a meeting with them and I don't know what it's about.
Damn it.
They didn't even respond to my question of like, what's it about? Just
That's
nope.
the best. That's definitely the best.
I love NVIDIA. Well, I mean, my contact there has been at NVIDIA for like 10 or 12 years or something like that. So he knows what's up. At NVIDIA, you do not leak information. It's like Apple. Like, if it's something where he's allowed to tell me, he will. Like, he and I have a pretty good rapport. But if it's something where he's told not to tell anyone, nobody will know. And that will be how it is. They're pretty crazy.
Epic. At Apple, sometimes even the engineers don't really know what's going on. It's pretty insane. Or at least that's how it was when Jobs was around.
All right, so this is a controversial topic. Actually, speaking of controversial topics, why don't we go ahead and do our sponsor spots? Woo! So Dollar Shave Club. By now, I hope most of you understand what Dollar Shave Club is. So basically, I'm going to take a bit of a slightly different angle on it this time. Do you shave? Okay, so I'm going to let that sink in for a moment. Do you shave with razors? I'm going to let that sink in for a moment. If you shave with razors, how much do you pay per month? And how inconvenient is it to go to the store and buy them and all of that stuff? Okay, so I'm letting you guys figure all this out. If the answer was more, then here we go. I'm just going to load up Dollar Shave Club's site. I'm going to bring it up on my... There's Mike. Look how crazy he looks. I saw him in an interview, and he looked a lot less deranged. And it made him less frightening to me. But
He seems frightening in that commercial?
with the machete and everything?
Yeah, but like he does it so poorly, he doesn't even cut the tape.
I know, but he's like aggressive. I mean, just because just because I can't cut tape with a machete, you would let me swing it at you?
It was a joke. You
I
didn't
know.
swing it at a
I
person.
know it's a joke, and me calling him deranged is a joke too. The point is that what's no joke is their prices. So if you're spending more than $6 or $9 a month for a pretty darn high-end razor, so anywhere from 4 blades to 6 blades, then you're kind of getting screwed, because that includes shipping and handling to your door once a month, so that you're never dragging an old broken piece of glass or a rusty nail across your face to get a nice clean shave, and you don't have to go to the store and get them to unlock the cabinet and buy razors anymore. So guys, check it out. Oh, I went to the wrong thing. DollarShaveClub.com/Linus ensures that they will continue to sponsor us and sponsor the WAN show and allow us to keep bringing this great content to you. Otherwise, you can, of course, just go and sign up for it on your own, because screw you, Linus. Haha! I'm an ad block and I'm a not use your referral link, but I like the idea of Dollar Shave Club, and you know what? I guess that's fine too. Also, they have other supplies like their shave butter, which goes on clear so you can see what you're doing, and their One Wipe Charlies, which I have promised to never demo live on this show because they're butt wipes. Also sponsoring today is lynda.com. So the great thing about lynda.com is actually just, I mean, who doesn't like lynda.com? You like lynda.com. Taryn loves lynda.com. You know what's funny is I'm usually the one who does the sponsor spots around here. Like, I'm the one who goes and memorizes, or in the case of the 5-4 thing last week, completely doesn't memorize.
Totally non-memorized.
Totally not memorized.
Like 100% inaccuracy.
I'm the one who memorizes the talking points they want us to hit.
Very precise.
I'm the one who looks into, like sort of, are these guys legit? Are they something like Audible, where it's really easy for us to endorse them because they've just got a great service? And normally I'm the one who kind of has to do that stuff. Whereas with lynda.com, Taryn was like, ooh, I want to do the fastest possibles with the lynda.com integrations. I love them. I've been using them for years. So lynda.com allows you to learn all kinds of cool skills. You can learn programming skills, you could learn Photoshop, Adobe Premiere, you could work on your DSLR skills, and it's just video tutorials by industry experts that allow you to learn at your own pace and just study at your computer and pick up new and interesting hobbies or even practical skills that you can use in work. So Taryn is a great example that I love to bring up, because his Adobe experience has actually ultimately, that he's started gaining from lynda.com, has ultimately turned into a full-time job for him, and in my mind, hopefully a career, because I think he does a great job of producing YouTube content and internet content, and that's the kind of power that something like lynda.com has. And what's good about it is if you go to lynda.com/WAN show, you can get a free 7-day trial and check it out.
And speaking of full-time jobs and stuff, I know tons of people on the forum and tons of people in the community in general are interested in jobs in computers, particularly programming. If you're thinking about going to programming and you're in high school, the courses you're taking are probably not hard enough. Jump on Lynda and start learning some actual languages. It'll help a lot. You'll have a huge leg up once you get to university, and you'll be able to work on stuff in your own time, which is more interesting and will teach you more than your courses probably will be teaching you, because your courses are probably out of date, but Lynda is not going to be out of date.
So there you go. 2 strong endorsements around here for lynda.com from people who have legit used it to do things that they legit have jobs doing right now.
Yep.
So there you go.
Lynda's kind of fantastic.
Pretty
I highly
darn cool.
recommend it.
All right, and the last thing that I should probably say, not related to our sponsors for this week, but actually 5-4 from last week, they weren't mad. Surprisingly. So for those of you who weren't watching last week, 5-4 Club Clothing, we had a sponsor thing for them, and I butchered it. I got the pricing wrong. I think I got the offer code wrong. I got the value of the clothing that they send you wrong. I got the special offer for that day wrong. Like, I got everything wrong. But apparently so many of you were like, oh yeah, this looks kind of cool, and signed up, that they're just like, yeah, no, it's cool, dude. It's fine.
At least you said like some words, I guess. Cool. All right. Sounds
Yeah,
good.
at least you had like our logo at the bottom of the screen.
You wore a
while
shirt.
just spouting nonsense.
Fantastic.
Oh, okay, so let's move on to this topic that actually hits pretty close to home for me. So LG's new wearable is a child tracker. Okay, one, it's butt ugly, and they need to get smaller.
Ridiculous.
It's absurd. You can't put that kind of thing
Look
on
how big
a
it is on
child.
the girl's wrist, mainly.
I know, this is ridiculous. These need to
nuts.
be barrettes. Or
Yeah.
they need to be something the kid feels cool wearing. That's the kind of thing that they need to be. They need to have at least a 2 to 3 day battery life. I mean, we're talking if a child's missing, but potentially being moved around very quickly, or there's something interfering with the signal, you need to have a few days to potentially get a lock on it. So this technology needs to advance before it's actually that useful, and before it's the kind of thing that I would buy. But as someone who has lost a cat, as someone who has a child, and would worry about losing them,
Has not lost child, though.
have not lost him yet, I would buy this, and I would put it on my kids.
I see a lot of people freaking
Discuss.
out over this, and this is the kind of thing that I would go, no, this is not okay, blah, 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 normally. But it's a very obvious device. Your kid knows what it's freaking for, and look how old the kids are in this.
Okay, but I'm talking about giving them barrettes and stuff, so that's what I would buy.
That's fine. My main point is look how old the kids are in this. They're
Right.
not targeting this at like 17-year-olds.
Well, yeah, no, that's ridiculous.
That's what I'm saying. A lot of people in the thing are like, oh, you shouldn't be able to listen to your kid's conversation. I was like, the kid's like 7.
Yeah, so the way it works is the kid can press a direct call button to contact a pre-configured number, and if the kid doesn't pick up an incoming call from the parent's number within 10 seconds, the device just puts the call through and then lets the parent listen to what's going on. And people who are upset about that, again, they don't seem to understand who this is targeted
think
at.
it's the
There's
age
nothing my
range.
6-year-old should be discussing that I can't hear. It gets different once we're talking, 9, 10, pre-adolescent type age where they have privacy. But if they're at the age where you're still, sitting supervising them bathing in the tub with all of their siblings, I mean, they're...
I don't know. And like the tracking thing, yeah. Maybe at a certain age they need to be able to kind of just take off. Not at 6.
Yeah, not at that age. They shouldn't be on their own. And I mean, this is the kind of thing that 100% I would buy.
Someone's like, oh my god, what if the kid is asleep? Have you ever heard of a baby monitor? It's like so much more intrusive than a baby monitor. I mean, so much less intrusive than a baby monitor. What are you
Well,
even
yes and
talking
no,
about?
because it's like strapped to the kid.
Yeah, but the baby monitor has a camera on it.
Not always. I have just an audio baby monitor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mine's actually awesome.
I don't
had
know.
A stupid one
I don't
before,
even want a
but
baby, so I don't know.
I actually, I forget what it's called. I think it's called like the Mimo or something. Baby.
I don't know. I
monitor
fully
or
understand
something.
and would be agree with and totally be on the side of the people that are freaking out if it was targeted in a very stealthy manner at an older age group. But is a very
A totally different
Totally
thing.
different conversation.
That's
This is a very young
That's
age
like
group.
the boyfriend tracker
That's
app that
what
got
I
pulled
mean.
off the Google Play Store.
Totally
like, that's
not
not
okay
cool.
with that. Not okay with boyfriend tracker. Not okay with girlfriend tracker. Not okay with, like, my son is 17 years old tracker. All that stuff is stupid. But when it's like a 6-year-old kid or this item...
This is cool.
Yeah.
So this is the Mimo. I actually pre-ordered this, and basically what it is this. Their marketing is just horrendous, though.
I'm sorry, I'm going to interject for a quick second. We were talking about text messages
For
from
crying out loud!
$500 prepaid cards to take a quick survey.
About your call with a TELUS customer service rep. Unbelievable.
I haven't even had one.
Ugh.
Like, this is ridiculous. I haven't had a call with them in forever. TELUS, my ISP, just randomly sent me a text message. We were talking about how that's bullcrap. And I've been saying about how I get them all the time now.
His ISP and his phone provider.
Yes, sorry. Yeah.
Both. Anyway, so you are a great parent for buying our product. I hate this kind of crap, but it is actually really cool. So it lets you monitor their breathing, temperature, stuff like that, and it's just a onesie that they wear.
Yeah, we saw this at CES, right? And it had,
think so.
what was it, Galileo or something?
I don't remember.
It was one of the Intel little microchips in it, which is pretty cool.
So I plan to do like a review of it or
SoCs.
something when the new
Cool.
baby lands.
That's cool.
I should follow up on my order because the baby's coming soon, and I remember doing the math, and it was supposed to arrive in time. So
I love when you check your smartwatch because you do it so officially.
Oh, well, the issue is that, okay, here, this is my one complaint about the Pebble Steel, is that it tends to sit here on my wrist with this buckle in the middle, and it, like,
Not in the middle.
off to the side, even though I've shortened this side as much as I possibly can. So I often have to kind of give it give
so
her a
you
bit of a
whip it.
shake.
That
So
makes sense.
the whip does two things, because that illuminates the backlight on the
Yeah,
Pebble,
yeah.
and it puts it in a better position for me to read it.
That makes sense. It just looks so official every time.
And the reason I look at my watch so often is because I don't just want to know what time it is. I also check to find out what the date and month is, because I often forget these things.
We were having a conversation the other day. When you work so much, sometimes you just focus too much on the thing at hand and you have no short-term memory anymore. What was that video I just filmed? I'm not sure.
Oh, one of the NCIX higher-ups came into the studio today when we were filming, and he was like, "Linus, what do you think of the Lenovo X1 Carbon?" And I'm like, "I don't know."
What is it?
And he's like, "Well, you did a video of it." I'm like, "Really?"
Did I? Oh, if you see the video, then you'll remember and you'll be able to talk about it. But like,
Probably not.
no.
No, I don't remember a
I'm
thing
that
about
way.
it.
I have to get triggers. I won't remember, but if someone's like, "Look, you did the video," I'll be like, "Oh yeah, here's a bunch of extra stuff I can say." But yeah, I don't know.
All right, so let's play Hot or Not. And I'm putting a bit of a different spin on it than you might be expecting. So hold on a second. What's that site called? Speaking of no memory, straw poll.
Straw
There we
poll.
go. Hot or not. And we are going to have 3 options. Hot, not, slick. Okay. So here
does
we
the
go.
slick rating
But
even
you guys
apply?
have to look at it first. Don't vote yet. Because everyone's just going to vote for you. And I do legitimately want an answer here.
Yes.
The new
Vote for me.
InWin S-Frame. So it's a limited edition for sale. Mind you, they said that stupid pipe one was limited edition. First it was limited edition. Then it's like limited edition of each color. And we're going to do a bunch of colors. And then now they just kind of still seem to be around. Anyway, I don't know how limited any of this stuff is. But limited edition up for sale. Basically, this is a new case construction concept that has a single piece of aluminum folded over and over again. So bent, 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 bent. Something that I personally have an appreciation for. So my TJ07, I love that it's a single unibody piece of aluminum for the top, front, and bottom. Although this one is a little out there looking for me. I prefer a more classical style design. So basically they
Gundam.
fold it, and then add 2 slices of tempered glass. I love that. Glass needs to be a more prominent design material, or like a more frequently used design material for computer cases versus acrylic, because acrylic is poopy. And then there are carbon fiber areas for cable routing. This is a good view of it right here. So you can see how this piece is folded, 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 folded. The motherboard tray mounts right here. And then there's also a demo build here that was on display that you guys can check out with liquid cooling. So here's what I want to know, Twitch. Hot or not? Here is the link, the official straw poll link. I'm just going to paste these a few times here so you guys can get your votes in. So what do you think?
I'm watching votes come in. What do I think about the case?
You're just watching your ego come in, is what you're watching.
Pretty much, actually. So what do I think about the case? Is that your question?
Yeah. Hot or not?
I think it's very cool that it's a solid piece of aluminum. I think it's
So
very
wait, hold
cool
on.
that they use- Or
So
aluminum.
cool would be not then.
I think it's very.
Something that's cool is by
hot.
definition not hot.
I think it's very hot that it has a solid piece of aluminum.
Okay,
It's gonna
okay.
get awkward.
Sorry.
I think it's very cool it has a solid piece of aluminum. I really appreciate that they actually use glass. What I don't like is that it's if you take the one piece of glass off, it's like a glorified test bench because of how open air it is.
Right. So it's a bit of a dust.
The guy
concern.
that posted the thread brought up the idea that like you can't look at this like a performance box.
Right.
Look at it like an art installation. That's not his exact words, but that's
Yeah.
essentially what he was saying. And that's an interesting idea, but the thing is just gonna it's not gonna be an art installation for that long because it's just gonna be a dust hound.
And if I was gonna have something really that I thought was beautiful and artsy, I would probably go for a desk computer. I'd go for a nice tempered glass top desk computer with filtered intakes and
it's pretty aggressive to be a fancy artsy. Do you know what I mean?
And then my other issue is that there's nothing that really matches it.
Yeah.
So the tower looks like what it looks like, and then the only way to have something kind of similar looking, I mean, I guess you could go Corsair, mechanical keyboard.
The black and
with a black aluminum backing. You could go I don't know, Thermaltake BMW mouse. It's totally uncomfortable and way too heavy, but like if you wanted something that looked kind of
But this
edgy,
is very the BMW mouse has circles cut into it and stuff.
That's true. This is very straight
This is
lined.
very edgy. Almost again actually the Corsair mouse.
Yeah, you could go with like
The M65 or whatever.
which is a laser mouse, unfortunately.
It's more cut.
I'm pushing them to do an optical like RGB mouse. That's what I'd like to see, like a lower end sensor, optical sensor, but with high end features like RGB and all that kind of crap. All right, so most of you are saying, although it's actually very close between slick and hot, so most of you
which
have
obviously
agreed.
means that those go together.
Yeah, no. It means that those are bitter enemies because they're competing against each other.
No, see,
in a
we're
very
grouping
close
up
race.
in 1 and 2, and we're beating up on not.
That's really not how voting works, actually. So anyway,
Did you
so
allow multiple votes?
most of you are no. So most of you are saying slick, with the rest of you saying either hot or not, and it's about a 2-to-1 ratio between hot and not for the in-win case.
One thing that's going to be a problem is it's going to be expensive.
Yeah, it's going to be extremely
It's
expensive.
going to be really expensive. The site that's estimated how expensive it's going to be is known for being totally not right, but it's still going to be really expensive.
All right, so we've got a few more rapid-fire topics here. So there's a police dog that was trained to sniff out hard drives and memory cards. This was originally posted by Johners on the forum, and it's a Hexus article. I got kind of a kick out of this. So this is Thoreau. And the idea is to find technological gadgets that could contain child pornography. So they want to find child porn traffickers.
Is there a specific smell to child pornography?
No, but there's a
flash drives?
specific smell apparently to these electronics, and I think that's pretty darn cool. You know, dogs continue to be amazing.
Although I'm not stoked for like every single piece of electronics I have being individually searched through every single file when I go through the airport.
Well, okay, yeah. Desktop sales are apparently no longer in decline. This was bound to happen eventually because the desktop is not dead, and
It's
the
just not
mouse,
breaking as
keyboard,
much.
monitor usage experience is not dead. It's just they're not getting as fast anymore, and what he just said. They are so much more reliable now than they used to be. I mean,
Yeah.
it used to be you didn't even get solid-state caps on a server-grade motherboard.
Yeah.
You were still getting electrolytic caps.
And look at how many successful first boots you have now compared to before. The huge, very important rule used to be make sure that you don't put the side panel on your computer. before
Bad
you boot it
luck
on.
to screw in the side panel the
And
first
now
time you
it
boot up
like
a new
just
PC.
doesn't matter.
Everything
because
just kinda
it'll
works.
work. Yeah.
So anyway, they're no longer declining according to Gartner, and I believe there was one other analyst firm that was saying that they aren't declining, although they didn't quite agree about
On exactly how much and all that
how
stuff.
much it's not declining. But it's like a very, 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 very minor decline.
Yeah.
I mean, I I hope that this is good news for the PC industry in general, not just for the desktop PC, because I don't think it was going any. I never thought it was going anywhere anyway. But I hope this is good news for the health of the PC industry. Now, once things have leveled out and it's not this market share grab and race to zero, I hope we see more expensive products. And hold on a second, I'm not asking for gouging, but what I'm asking for is higher quality.
Premier products.
Yes, I'm asking for companies to see the opportunity that someone like Apple has seen to deliver premium products that are just legitimately better than the other ones that are out there. I think the Blade 14 is a fantastic example of this. Funny thing. As much as I appreciate you guys posting all over Razer's like Twitter and Facebook and everything, I don't legitimately need Razer to give me a Blade 14. It's fine. I would love to have one, but Razer's policy with systems is that they don't give out review units, and that's fine. So it is what it is, and I don't need it that badly. If I did, I could probably save my pennies. It would be for quite a while, and I could probably buy one, but it's just outside of my price range, and that's okay. I have an excellent laptop that I'm very happy with, and I'll continue to use this until it dies, which it might be dying. Since the water incident, I've been getting some blue screens, so...
It works for now, though, and something can sit blue screening for a long time before it actually decides to die.
Well, yeah, but I don't like losing work. Because I do a lot of work on this laptop.
You have like auto-saving through Word? That shouldn't be that big.
Yeah, but it's a pain in the butt. Because, like, you know how I manage my browser tabs, and sometimes it doesn't remember my session, and so...
You know what's super annoying? Sorry to interject here, but in terms of remembering session, when you close your browser, and then, like, something updates and forces a browser open... like Flash, it'll be like, thank you for installing whatever, and then your restore session is now that freaking page.
Yeah, I hate
that. My god, screw off. I've lost so many important things that way. Just like, damn it, I can't go into history for this because I opened it like 4 days ago. God. Yeah.
You only keep a couple days of history?
No, it's just like I don't remember exactly what it's called.
Right.
Like, I don't remember exactly what was important. I just remember there was important things, and going through all that history would be ridiculous.
All right, we've got a couple more rapid-fire topics here. So Uber Hamburger has posted this VR room technology that you guys should probably check out the video for. It's pretty friggin' cool.
This is definitely one of those things where it's like, yeah, version much higher than this.
Yeah. Needs to be a thing.
Yeah.
But they've got a great preview here at the very beginning where the guy's walking around in a room, like a projected room, so you can see the flickering that the camera's picking up, but it's 3D, so he's wearing 3D glasses, and then he's got tracking points on this device he's holding as well as the glasses that allow him to walk around the virtual room and, like, look under things and walk around things, sort of. I mean, if you walk into the wall with the projection on it, then that's a problem.
But then he's seeing through the glasses, so he can actually see if he's going to walk into the wall or not.
He's saying that it's so immersive that they've actually had problems with people coming into the room, walking around in it for a few minutes, and then not being able to figure out where the exit is. So their system for this is that when you touch each of the walls, the one with the exit door makes a noise so that you can go find the door, because otherwise people just get completely disoriented.
That's pretty cool.
And they're completely immersed in it.
That's cool.
And then the last topic that I have today is there's a Watch Dogs mod.
I was worried you were going to go to this one.
Oh, actually, I guess there's one. Verizon claims Netflix is the one causing internet congestion.
And apparently they actually have like really solid data.
Yeah. So where they're legitimately trying to make the ISPs look bad by choosing crappy routes.
Yeah. That's not good.
That's sort of terrible.
Like, Verizon sucks, but that's still not good.
Yeah. So there you go. Too hot for TV.
You're gonna not want that to go.
Yeah, I know. So basically, there you go. That's Aiden Pierce with this particular Watch Dogs mod. That makes sense.
And he paused it at the exact right second. Good work.
Yep, that was about to get a lot less safe for work than it was right there. So that's pretty much it. Oh no, I have one more thing. So you guys still have a little bit more time, but I'm amazed at what the response has been to this. We have a campaign going on Teespring right now. to get your commemorative Highlander shirts. And 130 of you so far have bought Highlander commemorative either American Apparel Crew neck shirts, Gildan Heavy Blend hoodies, or Gildan long sleeves. So these are the 3 different options available. I'm personally maybe going to get a hoodie. I already have a shirt because I actually attended, so I already have this exact shirt. But yeah, if you guys want one, check that out. Also, Tech Syndicate has their own commemorative Highlander shirts. So theirs are a little bit different. They're monochrome, and then they have the logos and the names of the YouTube channels on the back. And I think I saw a tweet from Jimmy a little while ago. I don't know exactly what's going on with that, but I think it's available soon if it isn't already.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter who you buy it from. The point is just, I think they wanted some tweaks made to the design, so they wanted to put some stuff on the back, and then we wanted to offer not just t-shirts, but a couple of different styles. So we kind of did our own thing with it, and you can buy whatever you think is cool, or not, or just don't at all. That's fine too.
Also okay.
Yeah, also okay.
I'm gonna get one for like my whole family and probably buy a sweater for myself. So that's me, but you know.
Oh yeah, it's teespring.com/HighlanderLAN.
Yeah, and if you just go to teespring.com, you can click search custom apparel, and if you type in Highlander, it just comes up.
Cool.
So that also works totally fine.
Teespring's actually kind of cool. It's different. We normally use district lines, and the way Teespring works is you don't actually have to pre-buy your inventory like we do with district lines, where we pre-print shirts and then we put them on a shelf. Whereas with Teespring, you do campaigns like this, where it's like, okay, we need a goal of 150, and then our pricing from Teespring is based on achieving that goal, and then they print them all at once and then ship them all at once, and it's just all one campaign. I'll tell you guys now, the margin is a lot lower for us. Like, these are costing multiple dollars more than the ones that we have on district lines, but it gives us a little bit more flexibility in certain ways. Like, we can embed Teespring links within our videos. I don't know. Like, I don't know. It's just
American Apparel instead of Next Level.
No, we're doing American Apparel on district lines
Okay.
as well. So I don't know. It doesn't allow us to offer shirts on an ongoing basis as easily. Like on district lines, it's really easy for us to just keep WAN Show Stealth in stock, because that one just consistently sells like 1 a day or 2 a day, and people just like it. Whereas this is very campaign based. It's like, hey, we did this event. Here's a commemorative shirt. We're never going to print this again. I don't know. It's
Can
interesting.
we just use both?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we don't
Why
have
not
an
both?
exclusivity deal with anyone. I'm just talking about why we do things the way we
differences
do
and
them.
whatnot. Yeah.
In case people who watch our show are interested in
This could make
the things
sense
we
for
do.
stuff like when we did Resolution as a Number
Yeah.
and different events like Highlander.
I think Resolution as a number has staying power. I think people will still think that's a funny shirt down the road, or maybe not. I don't know. I always think I'm funny though, so maybe I'm biased.
You didn't even make that joke.
Which one?
Resolution is just a number.
I know. I just
Oh.
think my shirt about it is funny.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That makes sense.
I think we still have to do now with 30% more gen.
If you make it look like a retro ad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's legitimately a joke. Anyway, I think we're done here.
Gaming PCs.
I am going to do a garage sale today, so if you guys want to stick around, there's going to be potentially some cool stuff. I don't know what happened to it all, so I'll probably have to go get it. But
It probably got cleaned up.
yeah, thanks for watching the WAN Show, guys. Peace out. See you next week.
Yay, bye. That is...
Oh, it's broken.
Oh, no.
There we go.
Yay. We should just have an outro one.
Yeah, but then I use up a scene. I only have 12 scenes. Next split. They should have more scenes.
What does that make more sense?
I don't know. Now with 30% more scenes.
They should do that. Export.
And thanks again to our sponsors, lynda.com and Dollar Shave Club.
I use both of them.